I'm Symphony Privet, and thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. Now, let's start things off with a little Irish romance in Texas. Cole Sullivan shows us how it all began online when an Irishman tried his luck and struck gold in Dallas.
I got a DM one day from a cutie little Irishman, and I said, oh, this is intriguing.
Well, maybe that wasn't the first thing Teresa Rowley said.
I thought, oh, God, this guy.
Did an Irishman slide into my DM several months ago? Yeah.
The Dallas-based online comedian and actress has several 100,000 followers. But there was just something about that Irish guy.
I was like, okay, this is more interesting than I figured it was.
One thing, as they say,
watch him not answer,
eventually led to another.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Meet Sean Rooney. Does it get any more Irish than that?
Teresa wrote back to me, but she kept me at arm's length for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she played it pretty cool, and then it became like,
but FaceTime,
what if we do want to meet up?
Isn't as good as face-to-face.
Am I now about to fly across the world to meet him for the first time? Yeah, I am.
My mom especially was like, Teresa, this is not a good idea. I was like, you're probably right.
Their first date started at the Dublin airport, and their whirlwind week together went well.
He's smart, he's funny, he's fun to talk to. We just mesh.
She's been back, and he's come for a taste of Texas.
We went down to Austin, had some Terry Black's barbecue, which was, I've been raving about it ever since I had it.
They spent Thanksgiving with her family and danced together at her cousin's wedding.
It feels extraordinary to me.
Who knew? A message on Instagram could lead to love.
It's the luck of the Irish, I guess.
In Dallas, I'm Cole Sullivan.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like the script to a romantic comedy. All right, now to this next story. In Michigan, a couple went to adopt one dog, but they brought home two. And as Riley Mack explains, the dogs share a special connection that mirrors their new owner's love story.
This house has a motto.
Hello again. So we'd always joke around. We would name our movie Hello Again.
Repeated lately.
Yes.
Yeah. By Sarah and Joe Baldus.
Yes.
Yep.
Repeated since the arrival.
What is that?
Of them.
Eddie Beans.
Eddie Beans, and that's Sophia Rose.
Sophia Rose. I applied for Sophia. I got a message from Pound Buddies. Well, she's bonded, so she can't be adopted alone. We went and visited, and they came out, and he came out, and he was just a spitfire.
We were like,
okay, we're getting them.
They settled in fast.
This is just them sleeping.
Maybe a little
Yeah, that's just normal.
too fast.
we started to connect all the dots. Joe was like, I'm getting a DNA test.
What came back was proof
Yeah.
Yeah.
that some things are just meant to be.
It turns out Sophia is Eddie's mom.
Just the fact that we like kept their family together, you know. It was a little bit emotional when we talked about that.
Family separated
Come here, bud.
and reunited.
Good girl.
Sarah and Joe know a thing about that.
Well, we first met when I was in college. We were married for a couple of years, and then we went our separate ways.
So it was 14 years that we were apart because of how our relationship ended back then in early 2000, 2001. I thought I needed to call her and talk to her and just, hey, I just want to let you know, sorry for the way things ended.
We talked and just kind of fell back in love again. August 8, 2020 is when we got married the second time.
They said it from the start.
Does it say hello again? We have a sign that says hello again.
We got it on the inside of our rings.
Inside of our rings. We were talking about the dogs. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like hello again for the dogs.
The motto of this household
We're very grateful for how everything has turned out.
now fits better than they imagined,
Everything happens for a reason.
as life has a funny way of saying it again.
Oh, what you got there?
And that was Riley Mack reporting. Now, getting a new bike can bring a lot of joy to a child. I still remember my Barbie bike I got years ago, and it had pink tassels on the handles. Well, for one East Texas family, it's also a way to keep a legacy alive. Robert De La Garza shows us how a pair of new wheels is turning loss into generosity for kids who need a bike.
Inside the Walmart in Crockett, rows of brand new bicycles stretch across the aisle. Where most might see two wheels and handlebars, Laura Nichols and her family see opportunity.
It's more than a bike. It's hope.
hope rooted in the man who inspired it all. Laura's best friend and husband for 55 years, Billy.
We were high school sweethearts.
Growing up with so little, Laura says Billy's only real possession as a child was his bicycle.
So when he got his bike, it was for him to be able to get out and move around, and he felt freedom.
When they retired in East Texas, he made it his mission to give that same freedom to kids who needed it most. In March 2024, Billy lost his battle with Parkinson's disease, but the need didn't stop there. Now for his son Gregory, this is a calling.
And we all agreed that, giving those bikes away to children just brought joy to his heart. So we said, well, we're going to carry that legacy on.
Here we go. The Nichols family has since started Billy's Bikes, a promise to continue what he started. Last year, they gave away 13 bikes. This year, they doubled that number.
Right, we're not going to change the world with a bicycle, but we're going to change that one life, if not for just a little bit.
And for Laura, seeing his name and mission live on means everything.
And it just brings a mother's joy.
The families that receive the bikes may never meet the Nichols family, yet their generosity is felt through each and every gift.
I want them to know that God is in this world. He loves them. And there's people that are still here that care.
And with every bike loaded up and delivered, Billy's legacy keeps rolling hope forward.
That was Robert De La Garza reporting. All right, let's head over to Pennsylvania now, where a father is hugging his son just a little tighter these days. Michael says 14-year-old Jeremiah instantly stepped up when he suddenly collapsed from a heart attack. His son used CPR he just learned in school and kept his father's heart beating until paramedics arrived.
I just wiped away all the sadness and stuff, just focused on trying to save my dad.
Oh, okay. Michael later underwent a double bypass surgery, and he's now at home recovering. He says his son's quick thinking gave him a second chance and a new outlook on life. I'm glad we have a happy ending to that story. All right, a 27-year-old man is finally coming face to face with two men he calls his heroes. He said it just would not be possible for him to be alive right now if it weren't for them. Adriana Alexander explains why it took more than 2 decades for him to say thank you.
On November 11th, 1997, a miracle happened.
I mean, if it wasn't for them, he wouldn't be here.
On that day, Tila Stevenson called 911 from home after she'd realized she was in labor.
I didn't think I was that quick. I thought I had all the time in the world. I wasn't the least bit worried about riding in the ambulance.
But they didn't quite make it to the hospital.
Next thing I know, we're on the side of the road. And my mother was following us, and that was funny. To see the look on her face when he opened that door, my mother's standing on the side of the highway like, what? Too late, we didn't make it.
When her son Tyler was born in that ambulance, Tila's umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck.
Tyler did come out with the cord wrapped around his neck.
Paramedic Ken Drake and firefighter EMT Frank Irons took swift action to save his life.
I noticed that immediately and removed the cord around his neck, performed a normal delivery by the time Frank could get the side door open. And so we just did our normal delivery process, and it went pretty good from there.
Now, 27 years later.
They look nothing like I thought they would, but they are just amazing.
Tyler recently had a life-changing experience, prompting him to look back at his life and thank the people who had a long-lasting impact.
Started as a Facebook post where I was just looking to be curious, but it snowballed into what we're here now, which I'm grateful for.
The reunion was bittersweet.
Just glad to meet him and his mom after all these years. It's a rewarding experience.
They were excellent at making sure I stayed calm and quiet. They teased me all the way into the hospital and all the way upstairs. I named the baby after one of them.
As Tyler reflects on his life, he always remembers the two men who turned a near tragedy into the beginning of his story.
When you can't do nothing, do what you can. That's all I can say.
And that was Adriana Alexander reporting. All right, we'll be right back with more featured. Still ahead, sacrifice and service. One family is getting a reward. We'll show you how a community is showing its appreciation for that family. Plus, this isn't just a ride, it's a lifeline. We meet a mom who is taking a dramatic turn with a new set of wheels. And a bit later, what parent would let their child get a tattoo? Some of you may wonder, but we'll tell you why one mom did, and you'll see how it made her 4-year-old son feel much, much better after a painful injury. Welcome back. Military life comes with a quiet, heavy weight, long deployments, missed birthdays, and time apart from family. They carry that sacrifice for all of us, and that is why one community in Texas is giving a military family a gift built from gratitude. Sydney Walker explains.
Sounds
make some noise
of celebration to mark a new chapter and a new home.
Thank you for being here today for this special day for Jacob and his family as they get the keys to their new home today.
Operation Finally Home is giving back to those who gave so much.
A lot of these young men that are coming home from serious injuries in combat, their whole lives turn topsy-turvy.
Vice President Lee Kurgan says,
1, 2, 3. All right.
The surprise never gets old.
When they get the keys to that home and see that this is really happening to me, people actually do care. Welcome home, Jacob.
It's just a gorgeous home. They did an amazing job.
Jacob Spraggins is the latest veteran to receive a home, deployed to Afghanistan in 2012 and medically discharged in 2015.
I served with the United States Army with the 82nd Airborne and the 173rd Airborne.
Completed a year after the groundbreaking.
I've tried for a year to find the words.
This veteran is finally home.
And I'm still at a loss of words for today because it's just so remarkable.
Right alongside his daughters.
Everything I do is for them. And so seeing their reactions reaffirms that I'm doing everything I need to be doing as a dad. Me, I can nomad. Same thing we did in the Army. You know, you sleep out of the back of a truck, wake up in beautiful places, and you're good with it. But for these kiddos and for a family, like that's something they absolutely deserve.
That was Sydney Walker reporting. All right, let's head over to Indianapolis now, where a routine school pickup took a turn for the worse for one mom. She says her car suddenly stalled while her kids were riding with her. Take a look.
I was literally almost in the middle of the street. I kept trying to go and all the cars behind me were honking.
Ashley Masker says a stranger who just happened to be a mechanic came to her rescue. After Jamie Ford got the family to a safe spot, he then put his mechanic skills to the test.
Pop the hood and see what was wrong and fixed a little couple hoses.
There's not many people that you just see or just walks out and sees that person needs help and just offers that help. He's just a very genuine, nice person.
Ford says being a mechanic is about more than just fixing cars. He likes to help people. And now to a single mom in Dallas who's been running on E lately after her car kept breaking down again and again. Sean Giggy shows us the moment she got a desperately needed lift.
Okay. For Dane and Kathy Bailey, owners of Auto Experts of Colleyville, cars are their business.
Keep going.
But it's not what drives them.
We're here to help. We're here to serve.
I mean, it's part of our business plan, is to serve others.
People like Ashley Thomas. Ashley is a single mom who was working to put herself through nursing school when her car broke down. Suddenly, getting to class was pretty much impossible, and getting to work was an hour each way on foot. For Ashley, it was just too much to bear, and she says she fell into a deep depression.
I would just sit at home, like in the dark, just like crying and like telling God, you know, like what's even the purpose of me being here if I can't get ahead? I have a baby I can't even provide for because I can't get around.
Fortunately, just last year, Dane and Kathy launched a program called Autos of Love, where they take a lightly used, donated car, spend hours fixing it up, and then give it away for free.
And you're here for your final interview, right?
Yeah.
They lured Ashley to the shop, thinking she was here for an interview, and then hit her with the surprise of a lifetime.
Oh my God, that's for me.
A 2013 Prius and a year of free maintenance.
I really appreciate it. I've been going through a really hard time. I haven't been able to find work.
Ashley says it's just what she needed to move forward.
Don't have to stress about not having enough money to pay for my classes.
And there are now no limits to where this car or her dreams might take her.
This is like the best gift. Christmas came early.
Amen.
Dane and Kathy started this, hoping to provide one car a year to someone in need.
This means so much to me.
But they say, after this, that goal is unlikely.
Why can't we give away a car every month instead of a car every year?
There's no stopping us now. I mean, we're gonna keep doing it. So
They say it's easy to keep going when you're fueled by compassion.
I promise you I will take care of it.
In Colleyville, I'm Sean Giggy.
Thank you so much.
Fun driving it. It is a fun car.
What a great ending to that one. Just a reminder to us all, bad times don't last forever. We have much more straight ahead, hundreds of teddy bears and a 9-year-old with a big heart. We learn how he is spreading comfort to children all over the country, plus clothing not made for profit. How one artist is turning fashion into compassion. Welcome back. You know, some folks ride the fence on whether to turn their passion project into a business. Well, one artist in Colorado has made it happen, and when he makes a mistake on his hoodie designs, he doesn't toss it, he turns it into purpose. Janelle Finch shows us how.
Practice makes perfect.
Okay.
But when it doesn't, artist Justice Taylor doesn't let his work go to waste.
Just continuing a circle of passing on good things, and I want to put my hand in it. You know.
His hobby is his way of giving back.
Place it on the tray.
Taylor's in the middle of creating 100 hoodies to give to people experiencing homelessness.
You see someone lacking something that you see access to all the time. It makes it the easiest comparison ever to make between you and somebody else when you walk outside and see someone who is just outside.
He's working with other Denver artists to bring his mission to life.
I said, do whatever you want, dude, and I'll find the coolest way to put it on a tee.
And as he's learning his new printing machine, he's using his mistakes to make someone's day.
It's a great feeling.
If the ink of a hoodie ends up a bit darker or the print is off center, Taylor takes it to someone in need.
They're a part of my landscape, the art scene, the people scene, you know, and like, why wouldn't they get to benefit from something that I would want to give to people?
Taylor says his hoodies cost an average of $100 each, but people are more important than profit.
I still have extra prints that I could put on these hoodies, and I could sell the 100 hoodies in the boxes that I'm giving away right now, you know, but this seems way more important.
And if just one person can endure a cold Denver night with an extra layer,
I'll remove this top piece first.
Taylor knows the practice is perfect.
And then, yeah.
That was Janelle Finch reporting. From hoodies to some comforting teddy bears here. Carla Rogner shows us how one 9-year-old in Ohio is using this cuddly stuffed toy to make a difference.
There's just a lot of bears. It still blows my mind every day. I come downstairs in the morning and I'm like, ah!
9-year-old Jack isn't exaggerating. In 1 month, he's collected hundreds of teddy bears.
You did all this in 1 month? Yeah, I like it. It's fun. It makes me happy that all of these bears are going to go to sick patients.
For now, the bears are having fun in his mom's office.
They're playing cards, and they're playing war, and this one won because he had an ace.
But each one already has a mission.
The people at the hospital, when they get it, they can be brave.
Jack calls them Bravery bears. He started the mission last year after his family volunteered to make blankets at church.
And I said, wouldn't the kids at Nationwide like to have teddy bears to go with their blankets? And then We started collecting teddy bears, and last year we collected 445.
This year, Jack's Bravery Bears has grown into an entire operation. He's mobilized his church, neighbors, and friends at school to pitch in.
They call me the Teddy Bear Man. I like that nickname.
Jack's home has officially turned into Teddy Bear HQ.
It's like a tote, just open it. They're gonna be so happy. They're gonna love it and be like, yay!
Reporting from Teddy Bear HQ, Carla Rogner.
Bears can bring comfort to kids when they're sick, but for a 4-year-old in Colorado, it was some fresh ink that made him feel like his broken arm was just about healed. Check this out. This is little Trent you're going to see here in just a second. There he is. He had to wear a cast, but his mom, Kelsey, says he kept pulling it off. Oh man, so that's what one of her coworkers suggested, something a little unexpected, to visit a tattoo artist.
Usually my clients are a little older, a little more subdued, but to see a little kid's excitement for something that took me a minimal amount of time, but will be with him now for weeks as he carries through with this.
We made like a full turn where it went from needing to, not want this on to then he was like, this is so cool, Mom, I don't want to ever take it off.
Now for the next 3 weeks, Trent gets to rock his new cast complete with his favorite Ninja Turtle, Raphael. Hey, that's pretty awesome. And maybe it'll be the beginning of his love for tattoos a little later on in life, though. All right, it's time for a quick break. So I had cocktail memories. We meet a 94-year-old bartender. Whoa, okay. Pouring his final drink. And he shares why he is finally calling it quits. And shh, it's a reading rager. We go to a party where the crowd is rocking out with books. Hey there, thank you for staying with us here on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you uplifting stories across the country. In Seattle, a bartender has served countless drinks since the 60s, and now he is hanging up his shaker at 94 years old. Ooh. He says it's time to focus on something different. Jim Nelson explains how he plans to spend his next chapter.
At Seattle's last Roadhouse.
Can you guys hear us out there? All right. Well, welcome to the shanty.
A capacity crowd
$10 cover.
piles in on a Friday, the only night they're open.
2 Sauvignon Blancs. Special night.
The band belts out a familiar question that so many have pondered, but not behind the bar.
I'm only 94.
John Spaccarotelli has been pouring drinks for 6 decades.
What?
Can we take a photo with
It has to be quick.
That's what brought us here.
Well, I didn't know you were coming.
You see, the shanty is a family business.
Dana! Dana!
Yeah, including daughters Dana and Darcy.
It's our life. We don't know any different. He's had it before we were born, so it is like another sibling.
The bar opened in 1935. John took over in 1961.
You don't have to go downtown. You don't have to go to Ballard.
Here, it's about community.
He gets that one free. I'll just put yours on here. Keep it open. Talk to people. And make a dollar or two.
But it's hard work. And so, in 2 weeks, John's retiring and closing Seattle's last Roadhouse. His sweetheart.
She takes a lot of my time. So when I got Mr. John at home, sometimes I'm a little lax. Then I have ketchup at home. And not on French fries either.
Time to catch up on life.
I play the piano a little bit. I practice, yeah. That's another thing. I need more time on the piano.
The end of one chapter.
Keep on chucking.
Just the beginning of the next.
It's getting full in here.
I love his energy. That was Jim Nelson reporting. A cherished crossing guard is retiring her safety vest and red stop sign in Ohio.
Good morning. How you doing, Janie? Morning. Good day to ride your bike. Have a good day. Thank you.
How awesome is that? For the past 10 years, Julie has been a familiar and friendly face at the crosswalk right in front of a local Catholic school. People in the community say she has been a vital part of the morning for little ones and a welcoming presence for everyone who passes by.
We have had phone calls from people who have said, you know, what a positive impact she's made on their morning just by being friendly and waving. Sometimes she'll even dress up in a costume for like Halloween or our pirate for the day. Our loss is going to be tremendous because I don't think anybody can truly fill her shoes.
Well, it just shows that even the smallest gestures like a simple wave or hello can positively change someone's day. All right, now you've heard about daycare for children, of course, but what about older folks? So let's visit a place in California now where it is always sunny for seniors. Jeff Sevely shows us how they're enjoying every moment of their golden years.
If you know a senior who isn't living their best life, you might consider taking them to Always Sunny. Instead of calling this senior daycare,
we're normal people.
Alice Palmer prefers to call herself the member of a special club.
Because all the people working here are so nice. If you're getting older, you're looked at differently. Here they don't.
Look at me. I'm so happy.
Jana York is the owner who truly believes without Always Sunny,
they'd be sitting at home alone in front of the TV or staring out the window.
Jana is from Northern California, and when someone suggested she move here,
I said, are you kidding me? What's a Ramona? I don't like Southern California. No way, Jose.
Jana considered Ramona a cow town, but 2 years later,
well, I don't want one, but they're okay.
Seniors can stay up to 10 hours a day. We watched them laugh their way through morning exercise until it was time for Alan Whitcomb to get a haircut, and someone yelled, "Good luck."
Good luck, is that a bad one?
No, that doesn't sound good.
Cindy Ware runs the spa and salon.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it.
Alan loves the pampering at Always Sunny.
I'm from Seattle, so it's always raining there.
For Oktoberfest, 89-year-old Bill Malloy says all they did was laugh.
I guess they're just enjoying themselves.
Get it!
I know I do.
We'll put a little bit of bell peppers. I had older parents, so I can understand that this program is actually really good.
Nora Seidel, the chef, feels like she's cooking for friends.
Well, technically, I'm a senior too. So.
Members receive snacks, drinks, and lunch. Today's dish, chicken enchiladas, and a nice salad.
You saw it here today. Everybody's having a good time without worrying about anything.
I asked Tom Morgan if it really is always sunny in Ramona.
I'm not going to answer that.
As sure as the sun comes up, some questions answer themselves.
Oh, no.
In the Sevely Zone, Jeff Sevely.
All right, let's head to a party like no other now. There's no dancing or talking, but there's plenty of pages turning. St. Brian brings us to Seattle, where book lovers are gathering for a silent celebration.
The only sounds you'll hear at this party are cocktails being shaken, a piano being played, and pages being turned.
It is Wednesday, and you are at the Silent Reading Party.
The Silent Reading Party at Hotel Sorrento is the place for introverts to introvert. They gather behind the blue velvet curtains in the fireside room twice a month to bury themselves in books. This 1909 built hotel is the perfect place for it.
Mahogany-lined walls, crackling fireplace, and a piano. You gotta have all three.
Author and editor Christopher Frizzell is the inventor and host of the Silent Reading Party. He did the first one in 2009 to celebrate the hotel's centennial. He wasn't sure if anyone would even come.
And it was so crowded. There was a line out the door, and there were people sitting all on the carpet, like all over the floor, just because they wanted to be in the room with everyone.
There is no more talking until 8 p.m., and I wish you happy adventures in your reading, whatever you decided to bring tonight.
There's a rotating literary cocktail menu and a sliding scale for places to cozy up. The fireplace seats are premium, the bar seats are a steal, and any place is the perfect place to curl up with a book.
It just feels like you're almost like at Hogwarts studying. Just super cozy, old school, just back in time.
There's hardly a tablet in sight.
You know, it's mostly books. For the most part, people bring books. They'll bring stacks of books.
I'm reading Bill Bryson, Walk in the Woods, which is about hiking the Appalachian Trail. And then I brought a backup book that my friend recommended that I know nothing about.
The party is so popular, readers join from all over the world via Zoom. It started when the party went virtual during COVID.
It was just the best. We used to all hold up our books that we brought and take a group photo.
The Zoom continues to this day, complete with a live shot of that fireplace and Paul Matthew Moore at his piano. This party may not be a rager, but it's perfect for readers who know that the only thing better than a good book is sharing it with others.
And so I think it's this idea that you're part of a group, you're part of a community, you're not just by yourself in your silent home. Knowing you're part of something is just the coolest feeling.
That was St. Brian reporting. A quiet neighborhood in Denver is about to get louder. Two women are living out their dreams on wheels. Rhea Jha explains how their passion is energizing that community.
Don't blink.
It's like go, 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 go.
Run, Hazel, run! Energy is in the air. Woo! With an unapologetic flair.
All good, all good.
Kind of like punk, underground, like do-it-yourself.
We're the Colorado Wild Things.
In the middle of a quiet Denver neighborhood.
This has been my dream for years. Our very fine shirts.
The wheels of Randy Adams' dreams are finally turning.
My goal was to start a bank track league here. That was like the #1 reason why I moved here. This is very humble beginnings in my yard.
It's the first of its kind.
Well, I've never done bank track before because I've lived in Colorado like my whole life, and this is the first bank track league in Colorado.
No calling.
Before rolling into Denver,
coming in,
Randy wasn't Randy Adams.
A team that I skated with in Austin, we all had helmets done, so I went with Randy Reckless.
Randy Reckless was skating with one of the premier bank track derby leagues in the country. Austin's TXRD.
Our championship games would sell out. It would be like standing room. There would be 1,000 people in the room. We would be at the event center, just hearing all those people cheering. It was really incredible.
That feeling is what she's chasing.
The goal is to, like, when people come to Denver, they go, oh, you should check out the Bank Track League. We have a Bank Track League here.
Dreams that big don't come easy.
Oh, and I'm just trying to set it down.
For Randy,
there we go.
She had to build it herself.
All right. My partner and I literally flew to California, loaded this track into a U-Haul, and then drove it back here. This has been an extreme labor of love for us for about 1.5 years now.
Like roller derby, with a little more oomph.
It's on a tilted surface. It's also faster. When you say, oh, I play roller derby, they go, I watched that on TV in the 70s. This is kind of what they mean by that.
For Randy, every turn
we're slowing down
comes with a sense of purpose.
Speed up if you're comfortable. I'd like to think that my league is welcome to anybody. Whether you've been playing 15, 20 years or you've been playing never.
The bruises will fade, but her community is sticking.
Everybody feeling good? Any feet? Everybody's like, yeah.
The roller derby community is so tight-knit, and everyone sort of helps each other out a lot.
Oh, I see you.
It's a really fun game once you start playing.
Go, Hazel, go!
Proof that when passion picks up speed,
for me, I just like to have fun.
There's no stopping it. In Denver, Rhea Jha.
Here's a quick look at what we have coming up next. A familiar sound in the early 1900s and one musician that is dedicated to bringing it back to life today, plus the powerful message behind this heart-shaped medal and what the creator hopes people take with them after seeing it. As technology progresses, there is no doubt player pianos have a smaller role in our musical entertainment these days, but a man in Minnesota is determined to make sure they don't disappear. So much so, Boyd Hubert found him going to some unusual extremes to keep them around. Take a look.
They moved here 16 years ago.
Microsoft got its start in a garage.
So this is a piano roll. This contains one song.
Nate Otto's garage is home to some older high tech.
Especially if you're in 1916. It is the top tech of the day, yes.
For those unfamiliar, these keys, seemingly moving on their own, are each key triggered by a hole in that paper roll.
So these are the lyrics. If you can read upside down, you can sing along.
Imagine a parlor filled with guests sitting around Nate, and you'll get an early 1900s vibe.
I just love the sound of the player piano.
If only everyone else did.
They were all loved at one time. It's just everything has to come to an end.
The end for these player pianos,
this is Steinhenge,
is the sculpture garden in Nate's backyard.
And it was a complete playable piano when it came here.
And if they weren't here?
If they were not in the garden, they'd all be in the landfill.
Weekly, Nate gets calls from people all but begging him to take their player pianos for free.
There were 2.6 million player pianos made in the teens and 20s, and we're kind of dealing with the fallout of all of that, all those excess pianos.
Player pianos rendered irrelevant for home entertainment by the arrival of recorded music and radio.
So this is my my current project,
which makes Nate's,
they're all a little different,
an unlikely career.
And that's the first time this has been out since, I mean, maybe it was put in the factory, who knows?
That's Nate 10 years ago, restoring his grandparents' player piano.
It is like opening a time capsule.
After which,
for sure,
Nate kept going. He's now among just a handful of full-time player piano restorers in the country.
Look at that.
Unearthing hidden treasures.
Milk duds, look at that. This was under the keys? Yeah, that expired in 1943.
And a century of dust.
Yeah.
Tedious work that limits Nate to 4 restorations a year.
Just barely.
With a 2-year waiting list.
The cost to the customer is anywhere from $18,000 to $20,000 on average.
People may be giving player pianos away.
These are the bass strings.
But they are not giving away Nate's customers' grandma's player pianos.
Its value is in the sentimentality of it. All of my customers want to keep their piano in the family.
Case in point, driving 800 miles from Colorado, that's Kathy Mildenberger.
Thanks for coming back.
With her husband, Jim.
This is what moment we've all waited for.
For the first time since she was a kid.
It's cool.
Kathy is playing her grandmother's long-idled piano. Fully restored on the inside for the way it will feel inside when the piano is delivered by Kathy and Jim.
It's great.
To their grandkids.
Can't wait to show it to them.
In a perfect world, no player piano would be firewood for Nate's sculpture garden stove.
Alrighty.
But while he can't save them all, Nate,
thanks for coming,
is doing his part.
Do little musical chairs
to restore their glory.
Player pianos weren't just at home or in the restaurants and dance halls, they're also in the movie theaters.
Several times a year, Nate invites the community into his garage to hear the most glorious player piano of them all.
This is what's called a photo player.
A more playful player piano. In the early 1900s, player pianos captivated the world, like the televisions, stereos, and iPhones that followed. Beginnings may be more exciting, but Nate Otto is in the business of making the best of the end. Boyd Hubert, Anoka.
Great story from Boyd Hubert there. Now, we often toss garbage, without a second thought, but that saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Sean Martinelli takes us to Maryland now to show us how scrap metal became a symbol for love and connection.
we have 6 or 7 of these machines.
Inside this Montgomery County, Maryland garage.
We'll use these for snow removal.
We didn't need a bobcat or a ditch witch to excavate and discover a message of love?
Maybe a message people wouldn't expect to get from a landscaping company.
People think you're kind of rough and a little gritty around the edges, and they're probably not wrong.
Tom Climb owns Climb Landscapes. Last year, his staff stumbled upon some scrap on the street.
It was those sheets of 4x8 sheets of steel. My guys picked it up off the street and they brought it back here. I don't know why they picked it up. I mean, I still don't know why they did it.
And Tom still can't explain.
No, this is exactly what they found on the road, right here.
Why he saw that sheet and had a thought.
How can I make a difference in a subtle way? Oh, it just goes into the back here.
Which led to this.
So that heart out there stays lit 24/7. Really probably because I didn't put a timer on it. But
Tom turned someone's mess into what he says is a much needed message.
Whether it's Ukraine, Gaza, Democrat, Republican, the divorce rate's so high, murder rate's crazy. Everybody can look at that heart and take it in a different way and get a different meaning out of it. But the one underlying thing is the love.
Were you surprised by the reaction that it got?
I was.
Tom's heart became an unexpected roadside attraction. He began receiving requests for duplicates, which he's made for free.
Think about the young girl who drives by and she looks at the heart at night and she puts a smile on her face. But better yet, 30 seconds later, after she finishes smiling, she picks up the phone and she calls her mother. Like, that's what it's about right there.
All that from a scrap of metal.
It's so simple.
Very.
Yeah.
Right? But so is love. Love matters. Everybody wants love, needs love, and deserves love. Doesn't matter what race you are, what color you are, nothing. But it's the universal thing that I think that we're all missing in this world.
Missing elsewhere, found here. In Brookville, Maryland, Sean Martinelli.
Forget your ordinary rideshare in Colorado. Passengers are being greeted by a co-pilot that is bringing joy to every trip. He likes a good scratch, playing in the park, and will sit for a treat. There's a couple of hints. Evan Krugel introduces us to Bowie, the Uber dog.
Good boy. The front seat of Kevin's Kia happens to be the front seat of his office, where the Uber driver had a crazy idea last year to bring Bowie along for the ride.
Colorado is such a dog-friendly place, so I knew people would like it. Instantly, it was a big hit. All my passengers loved it.
Kevin quickly realized the reactions from the back seat were pure gold, so he started posting them online.
You are so soft. Oh, wow.
We have an Uber dog.
Look at him. Hi there. Hi.
At first, the videos only got a few dozen views, but on an April night last year, they randomly took off.
The YouTube algorithm just randomly decided to pick it up, and it started getting tens of thousands of views overnight.
Bowie the Uber dog now has hundreds of thousands of followers, eager for the next video of people slobbering over Bowie.
Typical reaction is something like, oh my God.
The pair now spend most of their time driving near the CU campus in Boulder, where Bowie has become a bit of a celebrity.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if he knows that he's kind of famous.
Even in a state where most dogs are spoiled, few can say they get more attention than Bowie. In Broomfield, Evan Krugel.
I love that story. I would be thrilled to come across little Bowie in the front seat if I were to hop in an Uber. All right, that is it for Feature today. I hope you found a little something that inspired you or simply made you smile. Until next time, make it a great one.